Hey, what's up everyone? Thank you for taking the time to check this video out. Today you are definitely in for a treat. Today I actually have who I call my real dad with me today. So every time you hear stories about me talking about my real dad, this is the man who took me in when I was not even 1 year old, took me and my mom in, I should say, and took care of me and my mom as if we were his blood children. So once again, this is, like I said, you know, I always talk about, you know, being in blended families, and I talk about stepdads and step-parents, and in this right here, my dad is the man who stepped in and he stepped up and he took care of responsibilities in terms of me and my mom. So I just wanted to honor him today and just say, you know, thank you to him for, you know, everything that he's done for me and my family growing up. And then even till now, even till today, I still learned so much from him. So I just wanted to just do a vlog and take the opportunity to introduce all of you to him, and just kind of just have a conversation, and you know, you get to know him a little bit better. So everyone, this is my dad, okay? My dad, Ed Babula, okay? He came into my life when I was 4 months old, okay? And we don't need to get into that story, but a long time ago, he came into my life when I was 4 months old, over 35 years ago. And I asked him today while we were having dinner, I said, Dad, I have a question for you. When you came into my life, like, you know, did my biological father give you any trouble? Or, you know, I even said, what would the best advice be, you know, for someone who is stepping in to you know, a relationship with someone who has a child already? Because we do have a lot of blended families. So I'm gonna go ahead and you know, have my dad share with you the answer he gave me, which I thought was really awesome. So go ahead, Dad.
Well, I would say I would start this the relationship when you were young is this treated you like a small kid. Of course, you know, like a real son, since your mom had you already. So when I came in, it just really, it's like you know, it's really a made family. So at that point, you know, I can concentrate on what I need to do in my future in my life. So when you came in, you know, it's just normal. You don't know really what's going on. So it's between you and me and Mom, and you were just right there, just taking care of everything that you need, and then and your mom will provide you for so many things because she knows you better than me. So you are. And then when I came in, as you know, I play with you. I mean, you know, just like a normal relationship with other kids. And you know, I don't have my own kid, but at that point, you know, it's just another say relative that, you know, or close family that I would consider as real family, because I'm all by myself when I came in here in the United States, and then I'm trying to find my way in to the real world of U.S. living. So in that way, this kind of makes me more comfortable with, you know, how my upbringing up in the Philippines and doing it here in the United States. That's what it is. So at that point, you know, what I can say is when you get into that kind of situation, you know, you just go by what is gonna be your future. Look into the bright side, you know. Hey, you know, this kid is going out, and your mom, of course, we had a good relationship, so we start to develop our own way of living. That's what I'm saying. And you are together with us. So whatever we made a decision is already a family decision. That's what it is. And then from there, you know, you came along. Of course, your need is there because you're still a baby, and then you take care of that first. And then along the way, I find the job, we make our own you know, lifestyle, you know, something like that. And then we grew up, you know, in a normal way.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy, you guys, growing up, you know, my dad and I had no idea that there was even, I never knew I had a biological father. I really didn't. My dad, you know, was my dad, and that's all that I knew. He never, you know, treated me or called, you know, differently, never called me a stepson or never, you know, told, you know, I never heard him refer to me, to my mom as, well, that's your son, not mine, never. So growing up, we always had this really tight relationship, you know, for the longest time. And he said to me earlier, he said, you know, I was like, what's the best advice we have to someone when they're coming into that relationship? And he said, look at the bigger picture. You know, think about the bigger picture. Yes, you know, in that moment, things might be a little difficult, they might be challenging, they might be, you know, a little messy, but always remember what's most important and always look at the bigger picture and what you want and treat them that way. And now that I really think about it and I reflect on it, that's exactly what my dad did, because for, you know, for a long time, you know, we had the greatest relationship. And it wasn't until my teenage years where I actually started to, you know, think about why my last name was different than his. And you know, I started, you know, becoming just, you know, more bratty and more wanting, and started, you know, hearing stories about, you know, the whole real dad syndrome. And when I really lost, you know, sight and focus of what that really meant and what it meant to be a real dad. So for those of you out there right now who may be in a blended family, I just want to really stress the fact that when we use the term real dad, think about what is real to you and what does that really mean to be a real dad. Because a real dad is someone who will be there for you. A real dad is someone who will provide for you. A real dad is someone who will, you know, support you and your mom and your family, your faith, and everything that you do. You know, my dad is old school Filipino, traditional, very little words. But I've come to learn that, you know, there's a reason for that. And I've come to learn to respect that because, you know, his actions speak louder than his words. For those of you who know my dad or may know him as Uncle Ed, he really has been so much for me. And there were a lot of times where I admit that I didn't see it that way. And, you know, I took it the wrong way, or I may have not have agreed. But I think that's kind of normal in relationships, especially when it comes to a son and his father. But for those of you viewing today and just watching this video, I really felt it was important to presence my dad because I do share him in a lot of my stories. I do share him in a lot of the work that I do, but I want to share the fact that yes, you know, even though things don't always go as planned or things aren't always happy or peachy keen, it's not about how you start, but it's always about how you finish. And I can say right here, this is the most humblest man that I know. I learned so much from him, and I'm still learning so much, and I appreciate every moment and every second that I have with him. So Ed Babula, Ed Gallardo Babula is my real dad. Okay, so let's just be clear. I have, you know, love for my biological father in the Philippines, you know, Rolando Ramirez and all my family out there. But let's just be honest and let's call it what it is. The man who stepped in and stepped up was this man right here, Ed Gallardo Babula. So Dad, just want to say thank you, and you know, I apologize of course for all of my mistakes, but we're still here, we're still together, and I couldn't be more thankful to God for bringing you into my life. So is there anything else you want to say to our viewers before we end the video?
Well, you know, I just want to say that what you have come out to be is really, I don't expect it, but what you end up to be is what surprised me. That's what it is. I never expect that to happen after all this big picture that has gone. So now that you came into this kind of I would say career that you end up, or whatever, that I really never influence it, but in a little way I would say I would have touched a little bit. That's what I'm saying. I don't get credit for that. I don't want to get credit for those what you have learned or what you're doing right now. But in a little way, I would say I made a little impact between our relationship as a family when you grow up from the start to the, you know, whatever you have it in now.
Yes.
So
see, and perfect example, being super humble. You know, my dad has done so much with his actions that more than he'll ever know. Every Father's Day card, I always try to bring up something new that I remember, you know, with me now being a father and being a stepdad as well. So, you know, then again, perfect example, him being super humble. But yeah, he has had more than just a little bit of influence. He's had a lot, and I definitely appreciate them. So there's just a little, you know, sneak peek into my world when it comes to me and my dad. Look out for some, you know, some future videos, because I do definitely want to you know, explore the relationship that we had and be able to share it with all of you out there who might be going through some of the same struggles. We share it not because, you know, of how great it is, because it's come a long way, but it's to show that, hey, you may be going through something similar with your kids and your family right now, but just know that if you keep your faith strong, and you keep your prayers strong, and you just keep following your heart, that good things happen. And you can see that right here between me and my dad. So for all of you watching the video, thank you again for taking the time. So I'm gonna have my dad say it. Our dad say click subscribe. say join the tribe.
Join the tribe.
Click subscribe.
Because it's tribe.
And click, no, say join the tribe.
Join the tribe.
Click subscribe.
Click subscribe.
And then point this way. There you go. So point right there, because my picture is going to be right there in the video. So yeah, go join the tribe and click subscribe right there.
Okay.
Thank you again for signing out. Once again, it's me and my dad. Just wanted to wish you all the best. For all of you out there going through, you know, that are in blended families, that are going through some stuff, you know, always remember, put your heart first and always look at the bigger picture and zoom out. So thank you again for signing out. Peace, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dad. What I love about working with young people